My name is Daniel. I'm 44 years old. I live in Denver, Colorado. I've been married to my wife Lauren for 16 years. We have 2 children, Emily who is 14 and Jacob who is 10. My younger brother, Michael, is 41. He's been married to his wife Christina for 12 years. They have 1 daughter, Ava, who is 8. On paper, we had the perfect family. 2 brothers, 2 wives, 4 kids. We lived 10 minutes apart. We had Sunday dinners together. We took vacations together. We celebrated holidays together. My parents, Carol and Robert, lived 20 minutes away. They were retired. They spent their time golfing, traveling, and doting on their grandchildren. I thought we were close. I thought we were loyal. I thought we were family. I was wrong about all of it. It started on a Sunday night in March. Lauren came home from a girls' night at Christina's house. She seemed different, distant. She didn't kiss me when she walked in. Didn't ask about the kids. Didn't even look at me. Everything okay? I asked.
Fine.
Just tired. She went straight to the bedroom. Closed the door. I heard the shower run for 45 minutes. I didn't think much of it. People get tired. Girls' nights are exhausting. I cleaned the kitchen, helped Emily with her homework, read Jacob a bedtime story. Normal Sunday. But over the next few weeks, things changed. Lauren started dressing differently. Nicer. More makeup. More attention to her hair. She started going to the gym 3 times a week. She bought new clothes. New underwear. Things she hadn't bought in years. I asked her about it once. Lightly. Casually. You seem different lately. Happier. She smiled. Not at me. Past me. I'm just taking care of myself, Daniel. Is that a problem?
No.
No problem. But something felt wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it. Just a feeling. A low, humming sense that something had shifted in my house, in my marriage, in my wife's eyes when she looked at me. Then I noticed my brother. Michael started coming over more often. He'd drop by on weeknights with no warning. He'd stay for dinner. He'd help Lauren with the dishes. He'd play video games with Jacob. He'd ask Emily about her school projects. Normal brother stuff. Except it wasn't. Because Michael had never been like that before. He was always the distant brother. The one who showed up at holidays, made a few jokes, and left. Now he was everywhere. I asked Lauren about it. Michael's been around a lot lately. He's going through a rough patch with Christina. He needs family. What rough patch? Lauren shrugged. Marriage stuff. You know. It's private. I didn't push. I should have pushed. The first real sign came in June. Emily was at a sleepover. Jacob was at a friend's house. Lauren said she was going to Christina's for a movie night. Just the girls. I said okay. I watched a movie alone. Went to bed alone. At 2 a.m., I woke up to an empty bed. Lauren wasn't home. I checked my phone. No messages. No calls. I called her. No answer. I called Christina. No answer. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, for 2 hours. At 4 a.m., I heard the front door open. Lauren crept up the stairs. She didn't check on me. She went straight to the bathroom. I heard the shower run for 20 minutes. When she came to bed, I pretended to be asleep. The next morning, I asked her what time she got home. 11. Why? I called you at 2. You didn't answer. She blinked. Too fast. My phone died. I forgot to charge it. Christina didn't answer either. Her phone died too. We were watching movies. It was dark. We didn't notice. 2 dead phones. On the same night. At the same time. I didn't believe her. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed more. The second sign came in August. Michael and Christina announced they were separating. No drama. No fighting. Just a mutual decision to take some space. Christina moved into a small apartment across town. Michael stayed in the house. Ava stayed with Christina during the week and Michael on weekends. My parents were devastated. Carol called me crying. I don't understand. They seemed so happy. People hide things, Mom. Not in this family. We are honest with each other. I almost laughed. Almost. After the separation, Michael started coming over even more. He was at my house 4 or 5 nights a week. Dinner. Movies. Late nights on the back porch with Lauren. I'd go to bed at 10 p.m. They'd stay up until midnight. Sometimes later. I asked Lauren about it. He's lonely, Daniel. His wife left him. He needs support. He has friends. He has Mom and Dad. He doesn't need to be here every night. Are you jealous of your own brother?
No. I'm confused.
You spend more time with him than you spend with me. She looked at me. Cold. Hard. Maybe if you were around more, I wouldn't need to spend time with other people. That stung. I worked long hours. I was the sole provider. Lauren worked part-time from home. I built my architecture firm from nothing. I was gone by 7 a.m. and home by 7 p.m. I was tired, but I was present. I coached Jacob's soccer team. I went to Emily's choir concerts. I made dinner on weekends. I wasn't absent. I was just busy. But I didn't argue. I let it go. That was my mistake. The third sign was the worst. October. My parents' 40th wedding anniversary. Big party at their house. Everyone was there. Lauren, Michael, Christina, Ava, Emily, Jacob, aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends. I noticed Michael and Lauren standing in a corner, whispering, laughing, their heads close together. Christina was on the other side of the room, not looking at them. My parents were greeting guests.
You walked over.
What's so funny? Michael straightened up. Too fast. Nothing. Just a joke. Lauren smiled. Michael was telling me about work. His boss is insane. I looked at Michael. Looked at Lauren. Something passed between them. Something I wasn't part of. Okay. Well, Mom and Dad are about to make a speech. Let's go inside. Michael walked ahead. Lauren touched my arm. Is everything okay, Daniel? You seem tense. Everything's fine. You don't seem fine. I said I'm fine. She let go. Walked inside. I stood on the porch for a minute, breathing, telling myself I was being paranoid. Telling myself that Michael was my brother. Lauren was my wife. They wouldn't. They couldn't. But they did. The discovery came 2 weeks later. November 12th. A Tuesday. I came home early from work. A client cancelled. I had no reason to be suspicious. I just wanted to see my kids before they went to bed. I walked in the front door at 5 p.m. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Lauren, Emily, Jacob. No answer. I walk through the kitchen. Dishes in the sink. Half-eaten sandwich on the counter. Lauren's purse on the table. Her keys next to it. Her car in the driveway. She was home. Somewhere. I walked upstairs. The bedroom door was closed. I opened it. Lauren was on the bed. Michael was on top of her. They didn't hear me at first. They were too busy. Too loud. I stood in the doorway. Frozen. My brain couldn't process what my eyes were seeing. My wife. My brother. In my bed. In my house. While my children were somewhere else in the building. Michael looked up first. His eyes went wide. He scrambled off the bed. Pulled up his pants. Lauren pulled the sheet over herself. Her face was white. Then red. Then white again. Daniel. Daniel, I can explain. There's nothing to explain. I saw everything. Michael held up his hands. Daniel, listen. Don't say a word. Don't say my name. Don't breathe in my direction. I walked out. Down the stairs. Out the front door. Into my car. I sat there for an hour. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just Saturday. Then I drove to my parents' house. Carol opened the door. She was in her robe. Her face fell when she saw me. Daniel, what's wrong? You look terrible. I need to tell you something. I walked inside. Robert was in the living room, watching TV. He turned it off when he saw my face. Sit down, son. What happened? I told them. Everything. The late nights. The separation. The whispers. The bedroom. My wife. My brother. In my bed. When I finished, I expected shock. Horror. Anger at Michael and Lauren. I didn't get any of that. Carol looked at Robert. Robert looked at Carol. Something passed between them. Something I didn't understand. Daniel, Carol said slowly, we need to tell you something. What? Michael told us. About him and Lauren. A few months ago. The room tilted. You knew. We didn't know how to tell you, Robert said. We wanted to give them time to figure things out. Figure things out? They're having an affair. In my house. In my bed. With my children upstairs. It's not that simple, Carol said. Marriages are complicated. People have needs. I stood up. You're defending them. We are not defending anyone, Robert said. We are saying that you need to calm down before you do something you regret. Calm down. My wife is sleeping with my brother. And you knew. You both knew. 4 months. And you didn't tell me. We were protecting the family, Carol said. You were protecting them. Not me. Not your son. You chose my brother over me. You chose my wife over me. That's not true. It is true. You knew they were betraying me, and you said nothing. You let me sit at your dinner table. You let me celebrate your anniversary. You let me smile and laugh and pretend while you knew the whole time. Carol started crying. Robert put his arm around her. We are sorry, Daniel. We didn't know how to handle it. You handle it by telling the truth. By standing with the person who was wronged. By being parents. But you weren't parents. You were cowards. I walked out. Didn't look back. Drove to a hotel. Checked in. Sat on the bed and stared at the wall for the rest of the night. Lauren called 17 times. I didn't answer. Michael called 5 times. I didn't answer. Carol called 3 times. I didn't answer. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Her name was Susan Becker. She was 55 years old, sharp as a razor, and had no patience for cheating spouses. Your wife and your brother, she said, writing notes. And your parents knew and didn't tell you. That's correct. Colorado is a no-fault state, but adultery can impact custody and financial settlements. Do you have proof? I walked in on them. But that's my word against theirs. Get proof. Photos. Texts. Recordings if legal. The more evidence you have, the stronger your position. I hung up. Called a private investigator. A man named Frank. Former military. No sense of humor. He had helped me once before. He would help me again. I need you to follow my wife and my brother. And I need you to get everything. Photos. Videos. Hotel receipts. Everything. Frank didn't ask questions. 2 weeks. 20,000. Done. While Frank worked, I moved out of the house. I told Emily and Jacob that Daddy needed some time alone. They cried. I cried. Lauren watched from the doorway. She didn't say a word. I rented a small apartment across town. Brought only what I needed. Clothes. My laptop. A few photos. I slept on an air mattress for the first week. I didn't care. The discomfort was better than the house. The house where my brother had been inside my wife. Frank called me in 12 days. I have everything. Photos of them at hotels. Recordings of phone calls. Credit card receipts. Emails. Text messages. And Daniel, there's more. What? Your parents knew before you did. Your mother helped them hide it. She told Lauren to delete texts. She told Michael to use cash for hotels. She was active in the cover-up. My heart stopped. Your father knew too. He didn't participate, but he didn't stop her. He looked the other way. I hung up. Sat on the air mattress. Stared at the wall. My mother helped them. My father let her. My brother slept with my wife. My wife betrayed me. And my parents chose them. I had no one. No family. No wife. No brother.
No parents.
I was completely alone. But I wasn't broken. I was angry. And anger, used correctly, is fuel. I called Susan. I have the evidence. File the divorce. I want full custody. I want the house. I want everything. Daniel, full custody is difficult unless she's a danger to the children. Her affair partner is my brother. He's been around my children. He's been in my house. He's been at their soccer games and choir concerts. That's emotional damage. That's endangerment. Susan paused. I can work with that. Also, my mother helped cover it up. I want a restraining order. No contact with the children. Against your mother. Against everyone. Lauren, Michael, Carol, Robert. They all betrayed me. They all helped destroy my family. They don't get to see my children anymore. Daniel, that's extreme. A judge might not. Make them fight for it. Make them explain in court why my mother helped my wife sleep with my brother. Make them say it out loud. Susan was quiet for a long time. Then, you're serious about this? I've never been more serious about anything in my life. I'll file the paperwork tomorrow. The next 3 months were the longest of my life. I stayed in the small apartment. Frank sent me updates every few days. More photos. More recordings. More evidence. Lauren and Michael didn't slow down after I caught them. They didn't hide. They didn't feel guilt. They felt free. My brother was sleeping in my bed, playing with my children, eating at my table. And my mother was helping them do it. One recording broke me. It was a phone call between Lauren and Carol. Frank had tapped Lauren's phone legally through a court order based on the evidence he already gathered. The call was from November 20th, 8 days after I walked in on them. Lauren, he's not answering my calls. I don't know where he is. Carol, give him time. He's emotional. He'll come around. Lauren, what if he doesn't? What if he files for divorce? Carol, then you fight. You're the mother of his children. The court won't take them away from you. Lauren, Michael says I should leave him first. File before he does. Carol, Michael is thinking clearly. You should listen to him. Lauren, you really think I should divorce Daniel? Carol, I think you should do what makes you happy. And Daniel hasn't made you happy in years. You told me that yourself. Lauren, he's not Michael. He's not passionate. He's not exciting. Carol, then stop wasting your life. You deserve better. Michael deserves better. I've watched you two dance around each other for years. It's time to stop pretending. Years. She said years. This wasn't a few months. This wasn't a recent thing. This had been going on for years. And my mother knew. My mother encouraged it. My mother helped them hide it. I listened to the recording 3 times. Then I saved it to 4 different drives. This was my weapon. This was how I would destroy them. I called Susan. I have a recording of my mother telling my wife to divorce me and marry my brother. Silence. Then, send it to me immediately. I sent it. Susan called back an hour later. This is gold, Daniel. Absolute gold. Your mother admits to encouraging the affair. She admits she knew for years. She tells Lauren to file first. This changes everything. What can I do with it? I can file a motion to restrict parental access. Your mother helped facilitate an affair that harmed the emotional well-being of your children. A judge will not look kindly on that. And Lauren. Lauren is the primary offender. But this recording shows she had an accomplice. Your mother. That matters. I hung up. For the first time in weeks, I felt something other than anger. I felt hope. The divorce filing hit Lauren on December 1st. She was served at the house. Our house. The house I was still paying for. Emily and Jacob were at school. Lauren was alone. She called me immediately. Daniel, what is this? Divorce papers. Read them. Full custody. You're asking for full custody. You've been sleeping with my brother in our house, with our children upstairs. Yes, I'm asking for full custody. He's your brother. His family. He was my brother. Now he's the man who destroyed my marriage with my mother's help. Silence. What does that mean? It means I know. About Mom. About her helping you hide it. About her telling you to divorce me. I have it all on recording. You recorded my calls. I recorded calls between you and my mother. Legally. With a court order. Everything you said, everything she said, it's all on tape. Lauren started crying. Real tears or fake tears, I didn't care. Daniel, please. Don't do this. Think about the children. I am thinking about the children. I'm thinking about how you expose them to your affair. How you let Michael play with them, read to them, tuck them in at night while you were sleeping with him. They're going to need therapy for years because of you. That's not fair. Life isn't fair. You taught me that. I hung up. She called back 12 times. I didn't answer. Michael called me the next day. His voice was cold. Hard. You're making a mistake, Daniel. I'm not the one who slept with my brother's wife. She was never really yours. You took her for granted. You worked too much. You weren't present. You didn't appreciate her. And you appreciated her? By sneaking around behind my back? By lying to my face? By bringing your daughter over to play with my children while you were sleeping with their mother? Christina knew. She didn't care. She had her own things going on. Christina knew. Everyone knew, Daniel. Everyone except you. Mom, Dad, Christina, Lauren, me. We all knew. You were the last to find out. My stomach turned. Everyone knew. My parents, my sister-in-law, my wife, my brother. They all knew. They all kept the secret. They all watched me live a lie while they laughed behind my back. Why? My voice cracked. I didn't care. Because you're boring, Daniel. You're safe. You're predictable. Lauren wanted excitement. I gave her excitement. Mom and Dad wanted grandchildren. I gave them grandchildren. You gave them nothing but responsibility. Get out of my life, Michael. Don't call me again. Don't come near my children. Don't speak to anyone in my family. You mean your family? Because I'm not part of it anymore. You never were. Not really. I hung up. Blocked his number. Blocked Lauren's number. Blocked my mother's number. Blocked my father's number. I was done with all of them. Christmas came. I spent it alone in the apartment. Emily and Jacob were with Lauren. The court hadn't decided custody yet. I didn't fight for Christmas. I wanted to. But Susan told me to wait. Be the reasonable one. Let her be the mess. Judges notice. I sent the kids gifts. A new tablet for Emily. A remote control car for Jacob. I wrote them letters. Long letters. Telling them I loved them. Telling them I was sorry I wasn't there. Telling them I would explain everything when they were older. I didn't mention Lauren. I didn't mention Michael. I didn't mention my parents. The kids didn't need to know. Not yet. Not at 14 and 10. New Year's Eve came. I sat on the floor of my apartment, eating take-out Chinese food, watching the ball drop on television. Alone. At midnight, I made a promise to myself. By this time next year, I would have my children back. I would have my house back. I would have my life back. And everyone who betrayed me would feel the weight of what they did. January brought the first court hearing. Susan and I walked into the courtroom at 9 a.m. Lauren was there with her lawyer, a man named David Klein who specialized in family law. Michael was there, sitting in the back row. My parents were there, sitting next to him. I didn't look at them. I couldn't. If I looked at them, I would see their faces. And if I saw their faces, I would feel the betrayal all over again. So I stared straight ahead. The judge was a woman named Patricia Hill, 50 years old. Grey hair. Sharp eyes. She had been a family court judge for 15 years. She had seen everything. Mr. Parker, she said, You're seeking full custody of your 2 children. That's unusual. Why? Susan stood up. Your Honor, my client's wife has been engaged in a long-term adulterous affair with the client's brother. The affair was conducted in the family home while the children were present. Additionally, the client's mother actively facilitated and encouraged the affair, including advising the wife to file for divorce first and helping to conceal the relationship. Judge Hill looked at Lauren. Is this true? Lauren's lawyer stood up. Your Honor, my client admits to the affair. However, the children were never directly exposed to any inappropriate behavior. The affair took place after they were asleep or when they were not at home. Susan countered. Your Honor, we have recordings of phone calls between the wife and the mother-in-law discussing the affair in detail. We have photos of the wife and the brother entering hotels together. We have credit card receipts for those hotels. And we have testimony from the client's sister-in-law, Christina, who confirms that she was aware of the affair and that the client's mother knew about it as well. Judge Hill looked at the papers. This is extensive evidence, Mr. Klein. Your Honor, my client is not denying the affair. She is simply asking for reasonable visitation with her children. Reasonable visitation while she continues a relationship with the man she had the affair with. Lauren spoke without being asked. Michael is my partner now. We are engaged. The room went silent. Engaged. My brother was engaged to my wife. Less than 3 months after I caught them in my bed. Less than 3 months after our divorce filing. Judge Hill looked at Lauren. You're engaged to your brother-in-law? Yes, Your Honor. And where do you plan to live? Michael and I are looking for a house. Together. Judge Hill wrote something on her notepad. Then she looked at me. Mr. Parker, what are you asking for specifically? Full legal and physical custody of my children. Supervised visitation for my wife until she ends her relationship with my brother and completes a psychological evaluation. No contact between my children and my brother or my parents. No contact with your parents. My parents knew about the affair. My mother helped conceal it. My father did nothing to stop it. They are not safe people for my children to be around. Carol stood up in the back of the courtroom. That's not true. The bailiff stepped forward. Sit down. Carol Saturday. But her face was red. Angry. She glared at me like I was the one who had done something wrong. Judge Hill looked at her. Then back at me. This is a complicated case. I'm going to order a full psychological evaluation for both parents, as well as the children. I'm also going to order that the children remain in the family home with the mother until further notice, but I'm appointing a guardian ad litem to represent the children's interests. The guardian will interview all parties and report back to me in 60 days. I wanted to scream. The children with Lauren? In the house where she slept with my brother? While she was engaged to him. But Susan touched my arm. A signal. Stay calm. I stayed calm. Thank you, Your Honor, Susan said. We walked out of the courtroom. Lauren and Michael walked out behind us. Michael was smiling. Smiling. Like he had won something. Congratulations on the engagement, I said. Thanks, Michael said. We are happy. I'm sure you are. Enjoy it while it lasts. I walked away. Didn't look back. The next 60 days were torture. The guardian ad litem was a woman named Margaret Hayes. She was 60 years old, a retired social worker, and she didn't miss anything. She interviewed me. She interviewed Lauren. She interviewed Michael. She interviewed my parents. She interviewed Christina. She interviewed Emily and Jacob. She came to my apartment. She looked around. She asked questions. Why are you living here instead of the family home? Because I couldn't stay there after finding my wife and brother together. Do you want to go back? Eventually. With my children. Without Lauren. She nodded. Wrote something down. Do you hate your wife?
No.
I don't hate her. I don't hate anyone. I'm just done. Done being lied to. Done being betrayed. Done being the last to know. Your mother says you're being unreasonable. That you're tearing the family apart. My mother helped my wife sleep with my brother. She doesn't get to call me unreasonable. Margaret looked at me for a long time. Then she stood up. I'll have my report to the judge in 2 weeks. Thank you. She left. I sat on my air mattress and stared at the wall. 2 weeks later, the report was filed. Susan called me the same day. Margaret recommended supervised visitation for Lauren until she ends the relationship with Michael. She also recommended that your parents have no unsupervised contact with the children until they complete family therapy. What about custody? She recommended that the children remain with you, in the family home, while Lauren moves out. She said the affair and the family's involvement in covering it up created an unstable environment for the children. I fell to my knees, on the floor of my apartment, crying. For the first time in months, I cried. Not because I was sad, because I was relieved. Daniel, are you there? I'm here. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. You did this. Not me. You gathered the evidence. You stayed calm. You didn't retaliate. You let her destroy herself. I hung up, sat on the floor, cried for another hour. The final hearing was in March. Judge Hill read Margaret's report. She read the evidence. She listened to the recordings. She looked at Lauren. She looked at Michael. She looked at my parents. Then she made her ruling. Lauren Parker, you are granted supervised visitation with your children until such time as you end your relationship with Michael Parker and complete a psychological evaluation. The children will reside with their father in the family home. You have 30 days to vacate the property. She looked at Michael. Michael Parker, you are not to have any contact with the children until further ordered by this court. Any violation will result in contempt proceedings. She looked at Carol and Robert. Carol and Robert Parker, you are not to have unsupervised contact with your grandchildren until you complete a family therapy program approved by this court. Your role in concealing and encouraging this affair is deeply concerning. I suggest you reflect on your choices. My parents looked like they had been slapped. Carol started crying. Robert put his arm around her. Michael stared at the floor. Lauren stared at me. Her eyes were red, puffy, broken. I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I just sat there, quiet, still. Daniel 1. Traders 0. 30 days. That's how long Lauren had to move out of the house. Our house. The house we bought together. The house where we raised our children. The house where she betrayed me with my brother. I didn't help her pack. I didn't help her find a new place. I didn't do anything except show up on moving day with a locksmith and a camera. Daniel, please, Lauren said. She was standing in the living room surrounded by boxes. Can't we do this civilly? This is civil. I'm not yelling. I'm not throwing things. I'm just documenting. Documenting what? The condition of the house. So you can't claim I damaged anything after you leave. She stared at me. You've become someone I don't recognize. No. I've become someone you never bothered to know, because you were too busy with my brother. She flinched. Good. Michael showed up with a moving truck at 2 p.m. He didn't look at me. I didn't look at him. We moved around each other like strangers in a crowded airport. He loaded boxes. I watched. The locksmith changed every lock in the house. Front door. Back door.
Garage.
Windows. Every entry point. All set, the locksmith said. New keys. New codes. No one gets in without your permission. Thank you. Michael loaded the last box into the truck. Lauren stood in the doorway. She looked back at the house. At the living room. At the kitchen. At the stairs where she used to watch Emily and Jacob run down on Christmas morning. Goodbye, Daniel, she said. Goodbye, Lauren. She walked to the truck. Got in the passenger seat. Michael drove away. I stood in the driveway and watched them go. My wife. My brother. Driving off together to start a new life. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel angry. I felt nothing. And nothing was better than feeling like a fool. The kids moved back in with me the next weekend. Emily was quiet. Distant. She didn't ask about her mother. She didn't ask about Michael. She just went to her room and closed the door. Jacob was different. He cried. He asked why Mommy couldn't live with us anymore. He asked why Uncle Michael wasn't coming over for dinner. He asked why Grandma and Grandpa didn't call anymore. I told him the truth. Not all of it, but enough. Mommy and Uncle Michael made some bad choices. They hurt our family. They need time to think about what they did. Is Mommy a bad person?
No, Buddy.
Mommy is a good person who made bad choices. There's a difference. Will she come back? I don't know, but I'll always be here, no matter what. He hugged me, tight, longer than usual. I held him and didn't let go until he was ready. Emily came downstairs later that night. She sat next to me on the couch. I know what happened, she said. What do you mean? I heard Mom on the phone. A few months ago. She was talking to Grandma. She said she was in love with Uncle Michael. She said she was going to leave you. My heart broke for her. She was 14. She should have been worried about homework and boys and school dances. Instead, she was carrying the weight of her mother's betrayal. I'm sorry you had to hear that, Emily. You shouldn't have been put in that position. I'm not sorry. Now I know the truth. Now I know why you left. Now I know why everyone is acting so weird. Your mother still loves you. She's just confused. She's not confused. She's selfish. There's a difference. She sounded like me. Same words. Same frustration. Same pain. When did you get so smart? About the same time you got so sad. She hugged me. I hugged her back. We sat on the couch together, father and daughter, watching a movie neither of us was really watching. The first month after Lauren moved out was the hardest. The house felt empty. Her clothes were gone from the closet. Her toothbrush was gone from the bathroom. Her car was gone from the driveway. But her presence lingered. In the furniture she picked. In the paint colors she chose. In the photos on the walls. I hired a painter. The whole house. New colors. New energy. New start. The bedroom became my office. I threw out the bed. Bought a new one. New sheets. New pillows. New everything.
No ghosts. No memories. No nightmares.
I started running. Every morning at 5 a.m. The streets were empty. The air was cold. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs ached. I ran until I couldn't think about Lauren or Michael or my parents. I ran until I was just a man. Not a victim. Not a betrayed husband. Just a man, breathing, moving, surviving. Therapy helped. I saw Dr. Ellis twice a week. He was a retired army psychologist who didn't do soft talks and participation trophies. You're still angry, he said in our first session after the move. Yes. Good. Anger is fuel. But fuel without direction burns everything. You need a target. My target is Lauren. Michael. My parents. All of them. That's 4 targets. Pick one. I thought about it. Lauren. She started this. The others just helped. Then focus on Lauren. Let the others watch. Let them see what happens when they betray family. I left his office with a plan. Not a revenge plan. A survival plan. Focus on my children. Focus on my work. Focus on my health. Let the consequences handle themselves. But I knew the consequences would be brutal. And I was okay with that. Lauren's supervised visitation started in April. Twice a week. 2 hours each time. A court-appointed monitor sat in the room while Lauren played with Emily and Jacob. They couldn't leave the house. They couldn't go anywhere private. Every word was recorded. Every interaction was watched. Emily refused to speak to her for the first 3 visits. She sat on the couch, arms crossed, staring at the wall. Jacob talked. He told Lauren about school. About his friends. About the new paint colors in the house. Lauren tried to hug him. He let her. But he didn't hug back. I watched from the kitchen. The monitor took notes. Lauren looked small. Old. Tired. The affair had aged her. The stress of the divorce, the court case, the public humiliation. She wasn't the woman I married. She wasn't the woman who smiled at my brother in my bedroom. She was a shell. And she had built that shell herself. Michael moved into Lauren's new apartment after a few weeks. A small 2-bedroom on the bad side of town. He had lost his job. The construction company fired him when the affair became public. Clients didn't want to hire a man who slept with his brother's wife. He tried to start his own business. It failed. He didn't have the skills. He didn't have the reputation. He had nothing except a woman who had lost everything. Their engagement lasted 3 months. Michael called it off in June. He said he needed space. He moved out. He moved in with my parents. My parents. The people who helped him destroy my marriage. The people who hid his affair. The people who told Lauren to leave me. Now they were stuck with him. I heard through Christina that Michael wasn't working. He was living in my parents' basement, playing video games, drinking, smoking, doing nothing with his life. Carol cooked for him. Robert paid his bills. They had created a monster, and now the monster lived in their house. Karma doesn't need a witness. It just needs time. July came. The kids were out of school. I took them on vacation. A cabin in the mountains. Fishing. Hiking. Sitting by the fire at night.
No phones.
No internet. No drama. Emily brought a book. Jacob brought a fishing pole. I brought a camera. We took photos. We made memories. We laughed. For the first time in a year, we laughed. On the last night, we sat on the porch. The stars were out. The air was cool. Jacob fell asleep in my lap. Emily leaned against my shoulder. Dad. Yeah, Bug. I'm glad you're my dad. Me too, Bug. Me too. I thought about Lauren. About Michael. About my parents. About everyone who tried to destroy our family. They failed. We were still standing. We were still together. We were still a family. Not the family I planned. Not the family I wanted. But a family. My family. The only one that mattered. When we got home, I had a message from Susan. Lauren is petitioning for more visitation. She's asking for unsupervised time with the children. I called her back immediately. On what grounds? She says she's ended her relationship with Michael. She says she's completed her psychological evaluation. She says she's ready to be a mother again. What does the evaluation say? The psychologist says she's stable but still needs to work on her decision-making skills. He doesn't recommend unsupervised visits yet. Send that to the judge. Already done. The hearing is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I sat in the courtroom. Lauren was there. Alone. Michael wasn't with her. My parents weren't with her. She had no one. Judge Hill read the report. Ms. Parker, you've ended your relationship with Mr. Parker. Yes, Your Honor. You've completed your psychological evaluation. Yes, Your Honor. And you're asking for unsupervised visitation with your children. Yes, Your Honor. I miss them. I want to be part of their lives again. Judge Hill looked at me. Mr. Parker, what are your thoughts? I stood up. Your Honor, my wife lied to me for years. She lied to my children. She conducted an affair with my brother in our home. My mother helped her. My father looked the other way. I don't believe she's changed in 3 months. I don't believe ending her relationship with my brother proves anything. She ended it because he left her. Not because she chose to leave him. That's not growth. That's abandonment. Lauren spoke without being asked. That's not true. I ended it because I realized what I lost. Did you? I turned to her. Or did Michael end it because he couldn't find a job and you couldn't pay his bills? The bailiff stepped forward. Mr. Parker, please address the court, not the other party. I turned back to Judge Hill. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I've watched this woman destroy our family. I've watched her lie to our children. I've watched my parents enable her. And now she wants unsupervised time with Emily and Jacob so she can rebuild her image. That's not what's best for the kids. That's what's best for her. Judge Hill nodded. Wrote something down. Ms. Parker, I'm denying your request for unsupervised visitation at this time. You may petition again in 6 months. In the meantime, I'm requiring you to complete additional therapy focused on healthy decision-making and family dynamics." Lauren's face fell. She looked at me, eyes full of hate. "You did this," she whispered as she walked past.
No.
"You did this. I just documented it." I walked out, didn't look back. The next year was about rebuilding. Not revenge. Not anger. Just rebuilding. I focused on my children. Emily was 15 now. High school. She joined the soccer team. Made friends. Got good grades. She still didn't speak to Lauren much. The supervised visits continued, but Emily found excuses to skip them. Homework. Practice. Study groups. I didn't force her. She had to make her own choices. Jacob was 11. He still loved dinosaurs. He still cried sometimes at night, but less often. He started therapy with a child psychologist who specialized in divorce and family betrayal. Dr. Harris was patient, kind. He helped Jacob understand that his mother's choices weren't his fault. "You didn't do anything wrong," Dr. Harris told him. "Sometimes grown-ups make bad decisions. That doesn't mean they don't love you. It just means they're broken." Jacob nodded. He didn't fully understand, but he was trying. I continued therapy with Dr. Ellis. Twice a week. Then once a week. Then twice a month. "You're healing," he said. "Not completely. But you're healing." What's the difference between healing and just getting used to the pain? Healing is when the pain stops controlling you. Getting used to it is when you learn to live with it. You're healing. You're not just surviving anymore. You're living. I thought about that. Living. I hadn't felt like I was living in a long time. I was existing. Going through the motions. Work. Kids. Sleep. Repeat. But Dr. Ellis was right. Something had shifted. I was starting to enjoy things again. Coffee in the morning. Sunsets. The sound of my children laughing. I was healing. My business grew. I had 12 employees now. We were working on a new development project. Affordable housing. Green energy. Meaningful work. Work that mattered. I bought a new car. A truck. Something practical. Something I had always wanted. I took the kids on road trips. The Grand Canyon. Yellowstone. The beach in California. We made new memories. Better memories. Memories that didn't include Lauren or Michael or my parents. Speaking of my parents, I hadn't spoken to them in over a year. Carol called sometimes. On my birthday. On Christmas. I didn't answer. She left voicemails. Crying. Apologizing. Begging. "Daniel, please. We are sorry. We made a terrible mistake. Please let us see the grandchildren." I deleted the voicemails without listening to the end. My brother Tom, the only sibling who stayed loyal, told me I was being too harsh. "They're old, Daniel. Mom's health isn't good. Dad's memory is fading. They won't be around forever." Then they should have thought about that before they helped my wife sleep with my brother. Tom shook his head, but he didn't push. He knew. He was there. He heard the things Carol said. Michael was still living in my parents' basement. Still unemployed. Still drinking. He had gained weight. Lost his hair. Lost his charm. He was 42 years old, living with his parents, with no job, no money, no future. I heard through Christina that he had tried to date other women. It didn't go well. His reputation preceded him. Everyone knew what he did. Sleeping with his brother's wife. Destroying his own family. No one wanted to be associated with that. So he sat in the basement, playing video games, drinking beer, waiting for something that would never come. My parents paid for everything. His food. His car insurance. His phone bill. They had created a monster, and now they were feeding it. Lauren was alone. She had lost the house. Lost the kids. Lost her reputation. Lost her job. She was working at a retail store, making minimum wage, living in a studio apartment that smelled like cigarettes and regret. She came to Jacob's birthday party. Supervised, of course. The monitor sat in the corner, watching, taking notes. Lauren brought a gift. A dinosaur toy. Jacob said thank you. Then he went outside to play with his friends. Lauren sat on the couch. Alone. Emily was in her room. She refused to come downstairs. Emily won't talk to me, Lauren said. Give her time. She's had a year. She's 15. She's angry. She has a right to be angry. I'm her mother. You were her mother. Now you're a stranger who shares her DNA. There's a difference. Lauren started crying. I didn't comfort her. I walked outside, played catch with Jacob, ate cake, watched him open presents. The monitor wrote in her notebook. Lauren sat on the couch, alone, crying. That was her life now. Alone, crying, waiting for something that would never come. Emily's 16th birthday was different. She didn't invite Lauren. She didn't invite my parents. She invited her friends, her soccer teammates, her favorite cousin from Tom's side of the family. I rented a party room at a local restaurant. Pizza, cake, music, dancing. Emily smiled. Really smiled. For the first time in years. Thank you, Dad, she said at the end of the night. For what? For being here. For not giving up. For being my dad. I'll always be here, Bug. No matter what. She hugged me. Tight. Long. I held her and didn't let go. That night, I sat on the back porch. Gus the golden retriever was asleep at my feet. The stars were out. The air was cool. I thought about Lauren. About Michael. About Carol and Robert. About everyone who had betrayed me. I didn't hate them anymore. I didn't love them either. I just didn't care. They had become background noise. Static in a radio station I no longer listened to. That's the thing about healing. Eventually, the people who hurt you become irrelevant. Not because you forgive them. Because you stop needing them to be anything other than what they are. They are broken. They made choices. They lived with consequences. And I moved on. The final hearing was in September. Lauren was petitioning again for unsupervised visitation. She had completed her therapy. She had stayed away from Michael. She had held a steady job for 6 months. Judge Hill read the reports. She looked at Lauren. She looked at me. Ms. Parker, do you have anything to say? Lauren stood up. Her hands were shaking. Your Honor, I know I made mistakes. Terrible mistakes. I hurt my husband. I hurt my children. I hurt my family. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for a chance to be part of my children's lives again. That's all. Just a chance. Judge Hill looked at me. Mr. Parker. I stood up. Your Honor, I don't trust Lauren. I don't think I ever will again. But I also don't want to stand in the way of my children having a relationship with their mother. If the court believes she's ready, I won't object to unsupervised visitation. But I want the children to have a say. They're old enough to make their own choices. Judge Hill nodded. Emily is 16. Jacob is 12. I'll speak to them privately. She met with Emily and Jacob in her chambers. I don't know what they said, but when she came back, her face was soft, thoughtful. Ms. Parker, I'm granting you unsupervised visitation. Every other weekend. 1 week during the summer. But I'm also giving your children the right to refuse visitation if they don't feel comfortable. This isn't a reward for your progress. It's an experiment. If it works, we'll revisit it in 6 months. If it doesn't, we'll go back to supervised visits. Do you understand? Lauren nodded, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank Mr. Parker. He could have fought this. He didn't. Lauren looked at me. Her eyes were red, puffy, broken. Thank you, Daniel. Don't thank me. Thank your children. They're the ones giving you a second chance. Don't waste it. I walked out. Didn't look back. The first unsupervised visit was in October. Lauren picked up Emily and Jacob on a Saturday morning. Emily went because she wanted to see her friends in the old neighborhood. Jacob went because he missed his mother. They came home that night at 7 p.m. Emily went straight to her room. Jacob sat on the couch. How was it? I asked. Okay, Jacob said. Mom made spaghetti. We watched a movie. Did you have fun? Kind of. It was weird. Like being at a stranger's house. I sat next to him. Put my arm around him. It'll get easier. Or it won't. Either way, you're in control. You don't have to go if you don't want to. I know. He leaned into me. I held him. Emily came downstairs later. She sat across from me. I don't want to go back, she said. Why not? She's trying too hard. It's fake. She's not the same person. I don't know who she is anymore. You don't have to go back. That's your choice. Will you tell her? No. You're old enough to tell her yourself. But I'll be there if you need me. She nodded. Stood up. Hugged me. Thanks, Dad. Always, Bug. The next weekend, Emily didn't go. Lauren called me. Angry. You're turning her against me. No. She's making her own choices. She's 16. She's allowed. You're poisoning her mind. I'm not doing anything except letting her think for herself. Maybe you should try that sometime. Lauren hung up. She showed up at my house an hour later, banging on the door. Emily came downstairs, opened the door. Mom, stop. This is embarrassing. Emily, please, talk to me. I don't want to talk. I don't want to visit. I don't want to pretend everything is okay when it's not. Your father is putting these ideas in your head. No, he's not. I saw you with Uncle Michael. I heard you on the phone with Grandma. I know what you did. I know you chose him over us. I know you lied to me for years. I'm not a little kid anymore, Mom. I remember everything. Lauren's face crumbled. She reached for Emily. Emily stepped back. Don't. Just don't. Lauren stood on the porch. Alone. Crying. Emily closed the door. Locked it. Walked upstairs. I watched through the window. Lauren stood there for 5 more minutes. Then she got in her car. Drove away. She didn't come back after that. The visits with Jacob continued. Every other weekend. He went because he wanted to. Emily stayed home because she didn't. That was their choice. Not mine. I stayed out of it. The final piece of revenge came from a place I didn't expect. My father, Robert, had a heart attack in November. He was in the hospital for a week. Carol called me, begging me to come. Daniel, please. He's asking for you. He's scared. I thought about it. I thought about the years of lies. The years of silence. The years of looking the other way while his wife helped destroy my marriage. No. He's your father. He stopped being my father when he let Mom help Lauren sleep with Michael. He chose them over me. Now he can live with that choice. He's dying, Daniel. Then he should have thought about that before he died. I hung up. Carol called back. I didn't answer. She left voicemails. I didn't listen. Robert survived the heart attack. He came home to a house that felt emptier than before. Carol was there. Michael was there. But I wasn't. The grandchildren weren't. They had chosen. I heard through Tom that my father had changed. He was quieter. Sadder. He didn't talk about me. He didn't talk about the grandchildren. He just sat in his chair, staring at the television, waiting for something that would never come. Carol tried to fix things. She sent letters, gifts, emails. I returned everything unopened. She showed up at my house once. Christmas Eve. She stood on the porch with flowers and a card. Daniel, please. It's Christmas. Let me see my grandchildren. No. Please. I'm begging you. You should have begged before you helped my wife sleep with my brother. You should have begged before you lied to my face. You should have begged when you had a chance. That chance is gone. She started crying. The same tears Lauren cried. The same tears Michael cried. The same tears everyone who betrayed me cried. I closed the door. Locked it. Walked inside. Emily and Jacob were in the living room, watching a movie. I sat down next to them. Put my arms around both of them. Who was at the door? Jacob asked. Nobody important. We watched the movie, ate popcorn, laughed. That was my revenge. Not anger. Not violence. Not destruction. Just peace. Just happiness. Just a life so full that the people who hurt me became irrelevant. Lauren calls Jacob every Sunday. He talks to her for 10 minutes. Then he hangs up. Emily hasn't spoken to her in 2 years. Michael still lives in my parents' basement. He's 44 now. Unemployed. Carol and Robert live alone. Their son lives in their basement. Their other son doesn't speak to them. Their grandchildren don't know their names. They have a family. But they don't have family. I bought the house from the bank. The mortgage is paid off. The fence is painted. The kids have their own rooms. Gus has a doghouse in the backyard. Natalie came into my life slowly. A friend at first. Then more. She's patient. Kind. She doesn't push. She doesn't rush. She just stays. Emily likes her. Jacob loves her. She doesn't try to replace Lauren. She just fills the spaces that Lauren left empty. We are not married. Maybe someday. Maybe not. Right now, we are happy. Happy is enough. If you're reading this and going through something similar, if your family has betrayed you, if your spouse has chosen someone else, if your parents have failed you, I see you. You can survive this. Not by getting even. Not by destroying them. By building yourself. Focus on your children. Your work. Your health. Your future. Let the people who hurt you fade into the background. They don't deserve your anger. They don't deserve your tears. They don't deserve your attention. They deserve nothing. And that's exactly what you should give them. It won't happen overnight. It took me 2 years to get here. 2 years of therapy. 2 years of running. 2 years of rebuilding. But I got here. And you can too. One step at a time. One day at a time. One room painted blue at a time. I'm not the man I used to be. The man who trusted too easily. Who stayed too long. Who believed that family meant forever. I'm someone else now. Someone harder. Someone wiser. Someone free. My name is Daniel. I'm 46 years old. I live in Denver, Colorado. I have 2 children, a woman who loves me, and a golden retriever who doesn't care about any of this. And I am finally, completely, absolutely free.